Lawmakers talked about the record property tax cuts they are providing this session.
The lieutenant governor and senators, both Democrat and Republican, called this a win for homeowners. Fox 4's Stephen Dial joining us now with what's next. Stephen.
Guys, the session ends on Monday, and this is probably the most bipartisan topic that happened all session. Now, voters will still have to approve it, but lawmakers are touting this as the most property tax in Texas history.
There is nothing that affects every Texan like property tax relief.
Texas senators took an end-of-session victory lap on their promise to lower property taxes.
This is great news because these commitments are, and once they're enshrined in the Constitution, are going to stay there forever.
Two bills sailed through the Texas House and Senate, but it will ultimately need voter approval in November because it amends the Constitution.
If you live in an average home in Texas, which is now about $350,000 to round off numbers, that means you take $140 off of that to pay taxes on. So your school taxes are going to go down about 48 to 50% for everyone under 65.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is talking about the details of SB 4. Another bill, Senate Bill 23, would increase separate exemption for homeowners who are older than 65 or have disabilities. The hope is that homeowners will see some relief on their school district property taxes. We talked to SMU economist Mike Davis.
Homeowners vote a lot more frequently than do renters or people who are kind of in and out of a particular community. So the politicians quite naturally have to pay a lot of attention to what the homeowners want and what the homeowners don't want.
Davis said while this is being sold as a win for all Texans, renters could be left out.
It's not at all clear that renters are going to get nearly as much benefit, maybe not even any benefit, of this, the kinds of tax proposals they're changing. Although, you know, let's see what actually comes out before we get too carried away.
Dallas County State Senator Royce West said in a session where there was a lot of division, this tax relief package showed how both sides can come together.
As we leave here this session, hopefully the media will say that we got it right, we worked together, everyone had input into the process, and when we have input into the process, we end up with great results session after session, record property tax relief.
Property tax cuts was a priority for Governor Abbott this session. He's expected to sign both of those bills, but again, it's on the November ballot, and so it only takes effect in the changes to the Constitution if the voters approve it.
All right, that's Stephen Dial in Dallas. Stephen, thank you.
Texas homeowners pay some of the highest insurance premiums in the country, and rates are increasing by double digits year over year. Fox 4 Sean Rabb in the newsroom with what Texas lawmakers are trying to do. Sean.
Yeah, and what they didn't do this session, there were 3 bills introduced to address rising insurance rates. None made it to the legislative finish line. Mortgage companies require homeowners to have insurance protection, but right now, no protection for homeowners or those working toward the American dream from increasing insurance premiums.
How about let's get the insurance checked on even before we do any other due diligence on the home? That's the first thing during your option period that I'm telling my buyers to do, just to make sure they can actually afford the insurance premium.
Homeowners insurance, the new home buying hindrance in Texas. For people like single dad Miguel Castro, looking to become a homeowner for a few years now.
What have you been learning as you've looked at insurance, as you're searching the market?
Yeah, I mean, they've doubled. I first started looking back in 2022, right after COVID. And back then it was only, I think it was going to be between 1,000 to 1,200 for the year.
Yes, sir.
And now it's looking like maybe 2,200 for the year, so that's double.
Insurance is going anywhere from 20 to 60% increases premiums year over year. And that's been consistent over the last 2 and 3 years. So that's for somebody that's already in their home.
And Doreen Diego, who moved to Texas in 2019.
We started at $1,200 a year. The next year, which would have been 2020, not much of an increase at all, very minimal.
Moving to this Denton County neighborhood in 21. Her insurance premiums moved also.
And I realized we went from $1,200 to $1,700. Still within reason. The next year we went to $2,700. The next year we went to $3,700, and our renewal just came up this month. We just paid it at $4,700.
Lawmakers have worked to bring property tax relief, but property values rising as property taxes dropping. Our state and the nation has had catastrophic weather, from wildfires to terrible tornadoes, horrific hurricanes and hailstorms, and pipe-breaking winter storms. But whether you ever file a claim, your premiums go up just the same.
And how insurance works is it's a spread risk, across. So I think even more so than understanding why we're in this predicament, there needs to be a recalibration altogether of what the insurance companies are doing.
What has to happen to keep these rates from going up?
What I see a lot of, what has to happen, I think we have to raise awareness. What I see is there's people talking about it everywhere, but I'm not sure I'm seeing action taken.
And Realtor Ashley Gentry saying the same thing. We have to raise awareness. She says while the legislation didn't get traction this session, it's an issue that certainly won't go away, and maybe we'll gather more support for rate regulation in the next couple of years.
Indeed, Sean, thank you.
All right.
A justice of the peace is accused of threatening a defendant into taking a plea deal.
His name's Robert Jenkins Franklin. That's the Rains County Justice of the Peace, is now facing multiple charges. The case actually began in 2023. Fox 4's David Santendry is in Rains County tonight with more. David.
Yeah, I've been in contact with someone close to the victim for several weeks now about a recently filed lawsuit, but even that person was surprised, caught off guard to learn that this judge was arrested last night. Rarely do we see a judge criminally charged, but that's what happened Wednesday night to Judge Robert Jenkins Franklin, Justice of the Peace in Rains County, about 80 miles east of Dallas. On May 1st, a man named Kobe Wiebe filed a federal lawsuit against Judge Franklin, claiming that back in October of 2023, Judge Franklin issued him a death threat for a case that the judge was not even presiding over. The claim is, during a 19-second phone call to Wiebe, who was facing a felony charge, Judge Franklin allegedly said, "I heard you have a problem with me, boy. You take that deal, boy, or dead men can't testify." The lawsuit says the call happened 2 days before Wiebe chose to take a plea deal for that felony instead of going to trial. But Wiebe later provided phone records showing Judge Franklin called him, and he even took a lie detector test discussing the threat and passed. According to a court filing, the district attorney vacated Wiebe's sentence after it found evidence an elected official coerced him to make the plea. This week, a Rains County grand jury met and chose to indict Judge Franklin charges of official oppression and tampering with a witness for that phone call with Wiebe. Now, the judge is also facing the same charges in a different matter, allegedly trying to convince his chief clerk to falsify an affidavit, as well as pressuring her to testify in his favor regarding that civil lawsuit.
Seems to go against everything you would expect the judge to be doing.
Russell Wilson, a former Dallas County prosecutor, not connected to this case.
I mean, certainly you've seen a variety of allegations of misconduct made against professionals from all walks of life, including those in the judiciary.
Still, Wilson says it's rare to see a judge charged. He wonders what motive Judge Franklin may have had, and since the judge was not overseeing this case, did he have other connections?
Why would this judge want to try to influence this person in this way?
Judge Franklin posted a $25,000 bond, so he is out of jail. I reached out to his office for comment earlier today, but we have yet to hear back. Now, the district attorney from Van Zandt County, that's about 25 miles south of here, I'm told that district attorney will be acting as a special prosecutor for this criminal case. As for Wiebe, we did reach out, but we are told that he does not want to comment at this point in time, as his attorney is out of town, but might be doing so in the future. For now, Steve, Heather, back to y'all.
All right, that's David Santendry in Rains County tonight. David, thank you.
Kansas City Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice is facing a new lawsuit following a multi-vehicle crash last year in Dallas, facing multiple felony counts in the hit-and-run crash.
Fox Sports' Peyton May joins us in the studio with the update. Peyton?
Yes, Lauren, this is now the third lawsuit filed against Rashee Rice for his alleged role in the violent wreck. Kayla Quinn says she was driving her son back from the Dallas Zoo when she was hit. Police say on March 30th of 2024, Rice and SMU football player Theodore Knox were driving at high speeds in a Lamborghini and Corvette on North Central Expressway. They allegedly weaved in and out of traffic lanes. Rice hit a median and his rented Lamborghini spun out, causing a chain reaction of wrecks. Now, one of the cars stuck in the pileup was Quinn's. Documents say the two athletes, along with other passengers, left the scene while some victims called for help. Quinn talked to TMZ shortly after the crash and said she watched the group flee.
They left immediately. I'm talking about, like, once they was able to jump out the car and pull him, they started tripping. They started walking. They weren't even there for like 2 minutes. They left immediately.
I've learned so much from that. All I could do was, mature and continue to grow from that.
Court documents claim the drivers were drinking alcohol earlier in the day before the crash happened. Quinn says she and her son suffered injuries from the wreck, both mental and physical. She says her car is also totaled. Now, the court documents list Kayla Quinn is seeking at least $250,000 and up to $1 million. We'll update you as the lawsuit plays out in the courts. Reporting, I'm Peyton May for Good Day.